देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागं सस्तनूभिः व्यशेमदेवहितं यदायुः ॐ शान्ति शान्ति Shanti. Let us now pray together. We offer our salutations to the all-loving being who endows all beings with consciousness. We meditate on the Lord, who is the origin of the universe. Lord, Thou abidest in all. Thou art all, Thou assumest all forms, Thou art the origin and goal of all, Thou art the self of all, Thou art existence, knowledge and bliss. Salutations unto Thee. May the world be peaceful, may the wicked become gentle, may all creatures think of mutual welfare, may their minds be occupied with what is spiritual and abiding. May our hearts be immersed in selfless love for the Lord. Peace, peace, peace be unto all. Coming week, we have the birth anniversary of Shankar Acharya, one of the greatest philosophers and spiritual person that ever walked on the earth. It is in his honor today's lecture, as well as the opening song, which is one of his very well-known hymns. We will begin the lecture with begin today's program with that. Peter will lead us into this famous hymn called Nirvana Shatkam. So you can join along in singing. It will be displayed here.
Manobujaham karachitani naham nacha shrota jive nacha gana nithe nacha voma bhumir na tejo na vayu chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham Nacha prana sango nave pacha vayu navasapta detu navava pachkosya navapani padam nacho pasta pakyu chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham Name Dveshvarago, Name Lobamohu, Madoneva Mineva Matsarya Bhavya, Nadarmo na Chato na Kamo na Maksha, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. Na purnam, na papam, na sakyam, na dukam, na montro, na tirtham, na veda, na yajna. Aham bojanam neva bojam, na bhokta, chidananda rupa, shivoham, shivoham. Namirtirna Shankar Name Jati Bhadya Pidana eva meneva natana jama nabandura mitram guru neva shivyasha chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham aham nirvikalpo nirarakta rapo vibhutvacha sarvatra savrendriyanyam nacha sangatam neva muktir nameya chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham.
Charlie. So, today's topic is a very commonly discussed theme in Vedanta, that the self alone is everything, Atman alone abides. And therefore, the title that where is you, that whatever appears as you is really I, this self. That is the idea, and we will take up a very well-known hymn of Shankar Acharya to elucidate this point. That hymn is Dakshinamurti Stotram, a hymn to the Lord Shiva, who appears as the compassionate Guru to impart this knowledge. So, this is the topic of discussion in Vedanta. In Upanishads, you will find this idea coming up again and again, that the self alone is. It is the non-dual principle. Whether you call whatever name you give it, you can give it the name God, you can give it the name as Brahman, but the most commonly used name in the Upanishad is Atma, the self, the underlying I in everything, because that is the most commonly observed or commonly experienced phenomena, I am. And it is also, you see, you read it in the Bible also, when Moses asks, well, who are you to God? Who are you? No specifications were given. I am. I am that I am, that's it. I am. So, this is the central theme, I am. It is something that we are all sure about. You is a changing something. It is not something that you can pinpoint, not something that you can always hold on to. I am is what everybody is sure of. When, for example, if I ask, are you you? You will all say, no, I am I. You are you. I am I. you are you. It is, where is that you? It is a matter of deep inquiry that, okay, but then where is this I either? It is what I see as outside. It appears as you. It is what is called in English grammar as the second person, the first person, I, and then the second person, you, and the third person also, because it is not just very close by or being addressed, is called he, she, they, but when we actually confront that, we call that as well as you. It is you, I, and you. That separation is a big problem for us, that I am. But what about you? Are you you? And everybody will say, I am. Where is you? I am all pervading. It is I am. This idea is in Upanishads, for example, in Aitareya Upanishad, you read that it is the Atma eva idam agra asit. Atman alone is there in the beginning. There is nothing else. Now, from that Atman, everything has sprung up. So it is also Atman. In the commentary, Shankar Acharya mentions there that since that is all the appearance on Atman, that also is actually Atman, nothing else, because that does not go away anywhere. Just as you take the clay and make different pots out of it, different shapes, different sizes, different functionalities. But then the clay doesn't go anywhere. The clay is the constant factor that spreads over into all these pots. The pots come, go, break, but breaking of the pots means, well, it is clay, it was clay, it is clay, it will remain as clay all the time. So that is the constant thing. So the appearance, they shift, they change. This division, that here and there, that is what is called in Vedanta as avidya, maya, ignorance. Because of ignorance, whatever is the self appears to be things outside. This Dakshinamurti Stotra begins. I am not going to discuss all these 10 stanzas of this hymn, only a couple of them mainly. So, but the first stanza begins like this. Vishwam darpan drishyman nagari tulyam nijantargatam पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोत् भूतं यथा निद्रया यत्साक्षी कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदम् Shri Dakshinamurtaye. That this self alone is, but it appears as if it is outside, like in the mirror. When you look at your face in the mirror, stand before the mirror. Do you do Charlie anytime? Okay, yeah. So you stand in front of the mirror and it appears to be there, But is it there? It is actually here. And it appears to be there. But if you want to, if you see your hair is a bit disheveled and you want to, take a brush and then put it on the mirror, because you see it there, nothing happens to your hair because it is actually not there. It appears, although here, it appears to be there. So, similarly, this whole universe, Vishwam means this universe. Vishwam, how it is Darpana Drishyamana Nagari, as if seen in the mirror, a big city seen in the mirror. Nijantargatam, although inside Bahiriva appears to be outside. And so it is, we think that it is there and call it you, I and you. This separation happens, that it is seen there. And as seen in the mirror, things get reversed. The mirror, all left becomes right, right becomes left and all that. So everything is as it were completely turned the other way. So it is this universe that we see is also therefore very confusing. Lot of questions come up. We always are, boiling with so many questions, especially when we suffer. Why do I suffer? Why I particularly? All other people around me seem to be very happy. Why I am suffering? So it is because this universe is basically like that, not real. It is an appearance. I do so many things. Why? What do you expect? That if you keep on moving your brush on the mirror to get your hair straightened, frustration is the result. If there is no frustration, then that is wonder. You are going to be frustrated in this attempt to straighten the world. No, it is here, not there. If you choose to, turn and move the brush on your hair, it will be straightened there also. Not only here, it will get straightened in the mirror as well. So, it is all Vishwam, Darpana Drishyamana Nagari Tulyam, Nijantargatam. It is I. It is self. It is within. What appears to be out as it were. And so, this truth we realize through what he says, the grace of compassionate God. God takes a compassionate form as teacher, the Guru. So, by the grace of this Guru Murtaye Namaidam, I salute that Guru who, by his blessings, this ignorance is gone and I see the self as that self is. So, in this, that it says that compare. That is another verse that I am going to discuss today very briefly. It is that think of a pot. This is a beautiful analogy that Shankaracharya gives there. A pot with many holes, and then a lamp is put in that pot. Now, through the holes, the light is getting out from that pot. And then it is seen all on the walls. You get the different reflections of that same one light. You see so many spots of light. And now, think, those lights, are they you if the light within the pot, if it asks that are you or is it I, that light alone is appearing as all different things. So, this is just now apply that very imagery to yourself. There is this self, and through all the sense organs, all these organs are called holes. They are holes. From that, from through those holes, the light of the self is going out, and we see so many. So, all of them, what are they? It is I, nothing else. I appearing as all this. Where is you? That is why everybody says that I am. I am. It is you is secondary. It is nobody says I am you. I am I. It is sometimes it happens somebody knocks and you ask from inside, hey, who is there? Nobody says you is there. I am there. I am. And then just to specify gives another name. I am Punita. So it is. So I am. That is the common expression. Everybody is I. Where is you? Think, like the sun, as it is shown here. A sun is reflected in thousands of, water drops. Thousands and thousands of water drops, sun is reflected in them. Now, is the sun would see them I, although seen outside in reflection. Are they different suns? Are they different somebody? They are just I. When do they become you? When do they become you? When one identifies with what is called in Sanskrit upadhi. English translation would be the limiting adjuncts or changing attributes. So these attributes are temporary something, and because of which you identify it as that something or you. It is not I but you by looking at the attributes, not by actually looking at its nature. Looking at its nature, it is I. But when you look at the attributes, like if you look at the water drops, then you see it as different. But the light, the sun reflected in each of them, it is really the sun. It is same. It is not you, but it is I. There is no you here. It is all I. So the spiritual practice in Vedanta is to separate the essence from the attributes. The essence and the attributes, they get mixed up, and therefore we do not know what we are actually addressing. It is, for example, if you are looking at a person, talking to a person, what you are really addressing. If that person is, say, bearded person, are you talking to the beard? Are you talking to that skin? Are you talking to whom? If you look at the essence, it is same as whatever this person is. The other things are attributes. As the beautiful hymn said, that I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not any attribute as such. I am the self, Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. I am the existence, consciousness, bliss, absolute. I am that. It is, I am not any attribute. So when you separate it from the attributes, what remains is the self alone. Nothing else remains. So, in various Upanishads this has been told, and Shankaracharya has elucidated that point with various commentaries, that it is the self alone that is manifesting as all that. He separates the other philosophies and Vedanta like Sankhya. He says, not like the Sankhyas describe, who have this duality, the Prakriti or the nature as separate from the self. Nature and self, the two, they combine, and therefore for Sankhyas there are infinitely many these eyes or self. So, but for Vedanta, he says, what the Upanishads say is that the Atman alone is, and is appearing in all these forms without any change in itself. So this is where they practice, therefore the spiritual practice is to learn to separate, like when you are eating, say, a banana, so you separate the peel and the pulp and eat the pulp, is it not? Not the, yes. So when we are dealing only with the attributes, then we are eating the peel, leaving out the essential pulp. And that is why in the world we get so upset, irritated. What will happen, if you are throwing the pulp and eating the skin? That is what happens, because we feel that the attributes, they attract us. And thus, it is misplaced attraction. The attraction actually is of the essence, but we misplace that attraction in the outer appearance, that this is such a nice voice, music, this is such a nice fragrance, this is such a nice form, so beautiful, and we get attracted to those. But it does not take too long for the beauty to turn into ugliness. Whatever looks beautiful at one point, another point, that very thing, and for somebody else it would look ugly, because it is not the intrinsic thing associated with the form. You like something not for too long. Why? Because actually what was attracting you was not that. And therefore, you feel, no, although it attracted me at one time, my attraction does not stick, because the source of attraction is always the self. As it is explained in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, that what really attracts you, the self alone, is attracting us. That alone is being loved. In all different forms, the love is really for the self alone. That is what attracts us. It tells that no wife ever loves the husband for the husband's sake. For one's own sake, the husband is loved. No husband ever loves wife for the wife's sake, but for the sake of oneself, wife is loved. No one ever loves the children for the children's sake, but for the sake of the self, the children are loved. So also about everything, nothing is loved for the sake of that, but for oneself. Everything is loved because that self is the essence of all of that. It is like you eat, say, cake, or you eat the Indian sweet, say, rasgulla, or you eat cookie. All these things taste sweet because sugar has been added to it. More sugar you add, the sweeter it becomes. So the more self you add into something, then more attractive it becomes. When you say it is my son, my daughter, what are you doing actually? You are adding I to it. That is what it makes it my. So therefore, it seems that it is getting attractive. But the source of attraction, like the sugar was the source of sweetness in all, so also the self is the source of attraction in anything. So that is the self. So the next verse that I will be taking up is that if you see, remove बाल्यादिष्वपि जाग्रदादिषु तथा सर्वास्वस्थास्वपि व्यावृत्ता स्वनुवर्तमानमहमिति अन्तःस्फुरन्तं सदा स्वात्मानं प्रकटीकरोति भजतां यो मुद्रया भद्रया तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये. That all these different changing states, like once upon a time everybody would be, say, child, balya, child. This is one state. It is, the body was child. I am not never a child or a young or youth or an old person. These are the states of the body. I am the same which appears in all these different states of matter. It is matter, the body is matter, it is processed food, nothing more than that, the food you eat, that gets processed, compressed, and then that you call that as body. So it is the state. Child is balyadishu, child, youth, old age, ripe old age, and so forth. All these states, and also jagrat aditya, when you are awake, when you are dreaming. It happens like listening to the lecture, when I suddenly take the name of somebody, that, hey, Naomi, what do you think? And the Naomi, if she is dozing, well, while listening to the lecture, it is, I felt drowsy, and then I slept, and I was seeing a dream at that time, and then I went into deep sleep. So it is, now all these three states are different. One state is like when you are awake, you are not dreaming. The dream world is different, where the waking world, as it were, is pushed aside, changed, replaced. It is, you may have eaten, a big supper, but yet when you sleep after supper at night, in the dream you may still feel very hungry, and you may therefore eat a lot. And then when you wake up in the morning again, you don't think that, you had a big breakfast in between, and so I should not be feeling hungry. Again you feel hungry. So it is because the dream state is not in the waking state. And the deep sleep state again negates the three different other two states. So similarly, these states are different. But then what remains unchanged? That is I. It is, you would not say, like Naomi would not say that somebody else was dreaming and somebody else went to sleep. I went into dream state, I went into sleep state, and now I am awake. That I remains the same. Ahamiti antasfurantam sada. Nobody else needs to tell you that it was you alone who were dreaming. You know it from within automatically. Antasfurantam. This is a very important statement that the self manifests automatically. It is the reality, and therefore it doesn't need somebody else to, make it come up or manifest. Antasfurantam. From within, it makes you see that it was I who was dreaming. It was I who had fallen asleep. It is I who am awake. In the dream, also, you would have another state of dream and sleep. In dream also you see I, and that I is seeing so many things. And the attribute of that I is different from the attribute of the one who is lying on the bed. One one attribute, body, is lying on the bed. That is not seeing the dream. It is another body where it may have wings also. It is and would be doing several things that is not possible to do in the waking state. But that I and this sleeping I, and then when the deep sleep comes, all three you identify automatically that I was that. The dream world, you immediately acknowledge that that was not real. It is not real. It just appeared and disappeared. What happens to the dream world? It appears, but when you wake up, it disappears. And what about what we see in the waking state? Does it stay when you are dreaming? It disappears in the dream state. When you are dreaming, this world, all the relations here, all the connections here, which one holds on to as if they are real, they all become unreal in dream. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell that story that that family in the village, and then they had a little child, and the child developed very high fever. They tried a lot of things, but on one night the child just breathed its last, and then the husband was dozing, and then the wife wakes him up. See, she was besides herself weeping for the lost little son. And she was astonished to see that her husband, the father of this child, is not shedding a drop of tear, is not crying at all. She said, what is this? Our only child was gone today, and you are not feeling sorry about it? The man said, look here, when you woke me up, I was seeing a dream. And in the dream I had become a king. And I had 7 sons. I was training all the 7 sons. And then they were all very bright and wonderful sons. 7 sons I had in my dream. When you woke me up, all the 7 sons are gone. So I am confused now. Should I cry for those 7 sons lost or this one son lost? It is, see, this is how this world is also like that. When you dream, the connections here, relations here, my so and so here, all is gone. That it is, that I have told that many times, but it is very important, so let me remind you that Zhu, a Taoist saint, he says that one day when he wakes up, he said, I don't know, I feel so confused. In the dream, I saw myself as a butterfly. And then now I wake up, I see as human being. So my question is, whether am I the human being who was seeing a dream as a butterfly, or I am a butterfly that is now seeing that I am a human being? What am I really? Am I a butterfly or am I a man? None of these. None of these. In those questions, you have to tick one of the alternatives, and sometimes to confuse all the alternatives they have given there, none of them is right. So you have to tick none of these. So actually none of these. You are neither butterfly, you are neither nor human being. When you were seeing the dream, was it not I that was appearing outside as if variegated into so many forms? You were riding on an elephant. Do you mean to say that an elephant entered that small room by breaking the door and so forth? The elephant cannot come in that room. Moreover, you could not really ride the elephant and go to all those places and come back in such a short time. So there is the space contradiction, the time contradiction, and so there was no elephant and no riding the elephant. No rider was there. But thus you know that you alone had become everything. It was all I, although appeared as you. There is no you. The elephant were you. The one who rode on that also were you. It is, no, you called it that, you. You met a friend on your, as you were going. And strange things happen in the dream. That somebody who was not at that time supposed to meet you, but in dream suddenly you meet that person with another unrelated person. Because in the dream the logic goes differently. So it is, and it doesn't appear to be contradictory in the dream at all. So when you see all that, you thought that to be you. The dream I who was riding on the elephant, addresses that friend of his or her as you. Hey, how are you doing? Is it you? It is I that is getting split into this I and the you. It is not a you at all, since this I is in everything. That does not go away in all these experiences. That in the dream the appearances become different. In waking state the things become different. In deep sleep state, it again, everything seems to have vanished. You don't remember anything. You only feel, as they say, a common experience that I was blissfully asleep. So bliss alone is felt at that time. I was blissfully asleep. So that is the state that you see. So if you abstract or remove all that changes and therefore is not real, just as your attire changes. It is, you see somebody with a white shirt at one point and a blue shirt at some other time. Sometimes when it is winter, you put on lot of winter jackets and all that as you go out. But then that is not you, it is only the coats, the jackets. That is there. You put a hat. When it is not that kind of weather, then you take the hat off. So these are called attributes. This is not you. When you want to go to some very special function, that you put on lot of ornaments, jewelries and all that. It is, you have kept them otherwise in a safe place in the house. When you have to go to some such program, you take them out, put them on, then you take it out again. So what is it called? Attributes. These are limiting adjuncts. You are none of them. You are none of those. Similarly, you are not body. Remove that as attribute. It is a very good meditation. Just as you come from a very cold weather outside, it is snowing and all that, come into the warmth of the home, then you take that winter jacket off and put it on the hanger. Similarly, think of this, that you are unbuttoning your body. You are unbuttoning your body just as you unbutton. It is possible. We do it. We unbutton the body every day as you go to sleep. You are not body then. You have unbuttoned and kept it aside. You, just as you do not sleep with your all heavy clothings. It will be too cumbersome to sleep with that. So it is too cumbersome. It is too cumbersome to sleep with this body. Unconsciously, you take it off. Otherwise, you can't sleep. This with body on. So you know how to do it. But somehow or other, we get identified with that. I am this body. I am a man or a woman or transgender. I am a dog or I am a cat. I am a mosquito. Whatever. These are the bodies. These are not you. Just as you are not black or red or white just because you have put on that dress. That is the color of the attire, not your color. You are not that. Similarly, man or woman or whatever, that is not you. You are neither, lightweight or heavyweight. You are neither tall nor short. These are all the removable attributes. You are none of that. Remove that. Vyavrittasu, that is the beautiful word used there, that if you remove that, then what happens? What remains? When you remove all the physical and mental attributes, what remains? Anuvartamana, what is ever present, which never becomes past or future, is ahamiti, I am, I am, I am, ahamiti, antasfurantam sada. It is always expressing itself from within everything. Everything from within says, I am, I am, I am. There is nothing but I. You can see that it is. Suppose that sun which is reflected in all these, if ask those reflections, are you guys you or I? What is it? It is I appearing as you. In ignorance it is appearing. Although I appears as you, it is I, that the whole universe is I. If you look at it from another side also, you can easily see this, that these are all my sensory impressions, that's all. Now, when I see something, what is it happening? It is some signal is, suppose, let us take just for example, the visual sense. I see Charlie sitting in front of me. There is Charlie, there is Vishwanath, there is this Abhijit, there is this Muni Krishnan, this is Teresa. I am seeing that. What is happening? Something is hitting this visual sense, affecting my visual sense. That is getting carried through the nerves, and then an image is constructed. Where is that image? It is here, appears to be there. It is here. It is a brain program which has generated the space and time. Space and time are not something, but it is a creation of our own so-called brain. There was that very nice thought experiment that the nerves are after all like wires. So the brain is connected all over every part of our body through the nerves. So now suppose you increase the length of those nerves like wires, Imagine, there are too many of them, but suppose you can increase their length, and then from here, if you take out that brain and put it before your eyes, now who is seeing what? Who is seeing what? Is brain is being seen by you, or the brain is seeing you? Who is seeing what? Where is it being seen? It all is actually right here. It is all self, nothing else but this self or Atman alone abides, friends. It is, there is a beautiful analogy given by a saint, Saint Jnaneshwar, in his discussion with a very saintly person, a great practitioner of the Hatha Yogic disciplines. And so that man had lived, his name was Changdev. Changdev had lived at that time when he decided to meet Jnaneshwar. His age was 1,400 years. So you are very young, Anne, isn't it? It is 1,400 years. That was his age. And so, and having practiced all the different types of these hatha yogic practices, he still was not feeling having attained much. Something has remained. So he heard about this little child. Jnaneshwar was barely about 16, 17 years old at that time, about 16 years old. And so he decided to meet, because the age does not necessarily increase wisdom. It is, this great sage had understood that, well, I have lived long, but I haven't got the truth. Let me go to this child. So, goes to this child. And then that is a beautiful 65 verses in that treatise called Changdev Pasashti. Changdev is the name. Pasashti means 65 verses discussed with this Changdev. So one of those verses give this analogy. It is all self. Without undergoing any transformation, that alone is there. And the best name for that, it is sometimes called God, it is sometimes called Brahman, it is called Shiva, it is called Vishnu. But the most common and most appropriate name, according to the sages of Upanishads, is the self, the Atman, I. That is because that is the ever-present name. It never becomes changed. So he tells Changdev that without any change, that self is appearing as all this. Even, he says, as we are conversing, who is telling whom? And he gives this analogy, that suppose two exactly alike mirrors, two mirrors exactly alike, and both of them, suppose, are endowed with eyes. They are doers, means with eyes, those mirrors, and they are kept in front of each other. Now, who is seeing whom? It is, there is I alone seeing I. Just imagine, this is a great example that there is nothing else but I. Is that one mirror seeing the other mirror, but then it is reflected in the other mirror. Same with the other mirror. So you see two these mirrors reflecting into each other, creating the appearance of many. It is really one without second reality that is appearing as all. In the other picture you see that same thing, a mirror in the front, a mirror in the back, and so that little girl is so many images of her. If she asks that, who are you? Imagine, think of it, that she is asking, who are you all? Well, I alone am. There is no you there. So this is the thought in this Upanishads, that there is no you. So, Swatmanam pragati karoti bhajatam. When you do the right meditations, right spiritual practice, that is called bhajana. The meaning is that then by paying attention closely and holding on to the revelations, that this attention comes to, like for last about 1 hour, we have been doing that. We were seeing closely, and thus we saw that it is only I. There is no you. All that we call you are the appearances of I. And when you see that, what happens? Now, the hatred, anger, jealousy, covetousness, all that we call as vices in life, all those vices have no room. It is not possible to have that when we see this self in all these forms. You do not become covetous, you do not get angry, you do not get irritated. That is the outcome of this. Do we want this outcome? Hmm? Yeah, isn't it very desirable outcome? So the way is to learn to see this. So let us try to hold on to this understanding and let us practice it. So let us meditate on this for 30 seconds, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Yes, please. Yes, please.
We're talking about Atman. Maybe it would be nice to mention something about Paramatma.
It is same thing. It is to emphasize the all-pervasive and the supreme character of it. It is also called Paramatma. Yeah. So, okay then we shall... Oh, you have a question, Raymond? Yeah, but exactly. It therefore creates an illusion of being something else. But what we call as I, see the same thing, this body, I am observing, so it is not I. Although I called it as I, if you apply the same criterion that it is not I because I observe it, so use now the same logic, same criterion. Is this I? This is I, as if, I am observing these microphones. So also I am observing this hand, feet, legs, belly, all that. It is, so it is not I. I am observing my thoughts. I am observing my breath. So none of that is I. So if you abstract that, what remains? That is then the true, real I. And so it is beyond time and space. It is because everything that is in time and space you can show as not I, or being observable. This argument is given very beautifully by Shankar Acharya in his commentary on the second verse of 13th chapter in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, the 13th chapter, the second verse of it. It is where Lord tells that kshetrajñam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata, that it is I alone am in all that appears as if outside. So it is, if you see what is outside, the body is outside then, being observable. The thoughts are outside, being observable. And so whatever is constrained by time and space, names and forms, is not I. And thus I am beyond time, beyond space, and so it is all pervading and all the time eternal. So that is the conclusion of that. So let us now, while Vishwanath does his offertory, yes, you will have the clicker. The upcoming programs, next Saturday and Sunday we have Swami Atmajnananda. Atmajnananda is giving a retreat. He is from Washington DC Center and has come here several times. A wonderful speaker. He will be giving a day-long retreat on coming Saturday, the 11th. And on 12th, he will give the Sunday lecture on the horseman hidden in the dust. The horseman hidden in the dust, that is his topic. It is a Sufi theme. So, it is the retreat, you have to register to attend. It is for registration you have to approach Naomi, or you can do it online. It has a token small fee of $30. And on Sunday, after the Sunday lecture, there is a music concert from the very famous musicians coming from India. Ustad Wasim Ahmad Khan from the Agra tradition, which is considered to be very pure Indian classical tradition of music. And so he will be accompanied on tabla by Pandit Ashish Sengupta, and on harmonium by Dr. Vinay Mishra. These three artists are all traveling from India for a short time in US. So take the opportunity of listening to them. So other programs during the week will go on as usual. So please try to take advantage of those, like morning meditations, evening meditations, prayers and so forth. The classes on Tuesdays and Fridays will go on as usual at 7:30 p.m. So with this, let us go into the evening Arati, Vesper service.
Prayer.
Oh, prayer, yeah. Thank you for reminding, Charlie. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, the Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahur Mazda of the Zoroastrian, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.